Hey, what's up? I'm about to leave work, but I just thought I'd show off the sign at my station. It says, "Dear customer, please hold your head still and steady. Santa is watching." And look, Santa is watching. And people often think that this message is for children, but it isn't for children. The thing is, if you've ever driven in a car with someone who, when they're driving, they can't keep their eyes on the road and talk. They have to keep looking at you, and then they'll look at the road and then they keep looking at you when they're talking. I don't know what you call that. People don't realize they do it because now that I have this sign up, people are like, do I do that? You know, everyone asks me that, and the answer is yeah, everybody does it. When they're talking, you just move your head and shit, and it's very annoying when you're working on someone and they can't stop moving their head. And definitely some people are worse than others. Definitely some are. And again, I mean, not to bag on women in their 60s, but they lose their focus or something, and they cannot talk and not move their head at the same time. It's just impossible for this age group. I'm going to turn off the music. So later today, I'm going to my brother's business, and he does not have signs on his wall. I think he would be in the more he would take his take on signs on the wall would probably be like that song by Tesla, that signs fuck up the scenery. But I'm getting results from my sign. So I think if you do a sign cute enough and you add Santa to it, signs don't fuck up the scenery. They might fuck up someone's like mode because they're thinking, have you been judging me this whole time and you've never said anything? But that's fine. I think it's a gentle way to educate people, is a sign. It's like my psychological experiment. I think signs work, even though they may fuck up the scenery. So my brother's shop, he doesn't have signs or anything like that, but he does have his entire shop, which it used to be a coffee shop, but now it's more like a venue for him to basically just do whatever he wants. So he has like a lot of heavy metal bands play at his shop and stuff. And this shop used to be owned by my dad before my dad died. And he's probably rolling over in his grave the way my brother has transformed this shop, because it kind of looks like Satan's bedroom. But he did allow me, I did spray paint a peppy on his ceiling, and he won't let anyone spray paint over it, so that's cool. Even though my brother is not, actually, me and my brother, out of all my siblings, me and my brother have always gotten along really, really well. Ideologically, I don't even think our thoughts on things are that different, except for he's a self-hating white, and I'm against being a self-hating white. And that's the main difference between us, but he really doesn't like capitalism, and he really doesn't give a fuck about society that much. And I do think partially that might be genetic, but I also think that when you're raised in an environment where you're taught to be separate from the world, and we were always taught that we were never going to go to college or anything like that. So, and he was a really bright kid, so he would score really high on like the state tests that schools have to do, and so he would always be put in like the GATE program. And from a very early age, he decided that the GATE program was bullshit, because the way Bakersfield did the GATE program is he actually got sent to this school, and he said the school was mainly black, and then there was a segregated area, and that's where the GATE kids were. And he remembers as a child feeling very much like awkward about the situation, like it was us, the elite kids, and then all these black kids. And he just said it felt very weird. And then on top of that, he felt like he was actually being punished for being in this program because it was just more work. I mean, it was like It wasn't like they were learning cooler stuff or anything. It was just like more assignments. And so from a very early age, he just started sabotaging all of his testing because he didn't want to be put in any special programs. And then to add to that, when we would go to like the Jehovah's Witness Kingdom Hall, my dad never went to meetings. It was always my mom and then 5 kids. And we were like the white trash family, kind of. And we always kind of showed up late too, because getting 5 kids ready for meeting who don't want to go to meeting, that was challenging for my mom. So we always sat in this back room, which we called the penalty box, but no one else called it the penalty box. But we always sat in the penalty box. Occasionally, though, we would make it to meeting on time. And when we did make it to meeting on time, we would, sit in the main hall with everyone else. And my brother, we thought it was hilarious. Even my mom would get a chuckle out of it. But my brother would try to sit in front of the speaker. And he had always had a lazy eye, so from infancy, he looked like he was permanently stoned. And like his eyelids don't open all the way. And I can't remember what age he would start to do this, but he would put his head down like this and then just start to drool, like big globs of drool pouring out of his mouth. And I think he thought what he was trying to do was see if he could break the speaker. But usually what would happen is the speaker would try to avoid eye contact or try to avoid looking at her robe, but it would just have me and my sister in particular just dying in laughter. And I'm pretty sure everyone thought he was retarded. And Tyler's attitude has just kind of like stayed there. Like he's never progressed further than that. And then on top of that, I mean, when you're basically cut off from pursuing anything because you're just told that the world is wicked and like pursuing your own interest is selfish and not godly and that sort of thing, we just never pursued school. And Tyler really pursued partying mainly, my brother. But he was always a very sweet kid. Like he was the kid that would, if he saw a kid getting bullied or something like that, he just couldn't handle it. He'd always be friends with that kid. He was always friends with all the black kids. He was just like one of those kids. He just hung out with the underdogs. And so now he has heavy metal shows at his shop, and I'm not a night owl. Like, I am someone who goes to bed early, but my daughter now likes to go to these metal shows, and she really likes me to go with her. So we go to these shows, and I think it's really funny because it's kind of like in a cool neighborhood in this town, and it's surrounded by like breweries and cool things and nice places, and then my brother's shop looks like Satan's bedroom, and that's where I'm hanging out tonight. And hopefully we get home at a reasonable hour and everything will be fine. One final thought about Catholicism that I've been thinking a lot about. I think that a key feature of Catholicism that I think is a good one is the ritual of everything. Like, I think even doing this sort of thing, having your mind and your the physicality of a faith feels good as a human. Like, I think ritual is something that human beings crave. Even when we're talking about coffee or something like that. Like, I feel like half the time when I drink coffee in the morning, it's just a ritual that I like. And I find that ritual is something that humans crave. And so a faith with ritual, I think, is psychologically beneficial And I also like Catholics don't teach to proselytize. So basically, your own ritual is your own ritual. You don't have to go out and preach to people about being Catholic or becoming a Catholic. And I also like that nuns kind of have to give themselves to God so much, and priests too, but nuns especially, because they're not wearing makeup, they're not wearing, nice clothes, they're wearing a black blanket, and it's almost like the church hires people to do all the proselytizing for you. And then when you look at Christian evangelicals, there is big hair and makeup and Tammy Faye Baker and guitars and singing, and it's like a job, and people already have jobs. So I just feel more and more, I feel like I think that Catholicism is the best religion and has a lot of added benefits that other faiths don't have in it. And I'm thinking about this all the time now. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's like the Catholic Church is your ritual, and they kind of take care of it from there. The church does. And my sister's at a wedding this weekend, and she's married to a Catholic, and her husband isn't a practicing Catholic, but he has 6 siblings that are, and 1 million cousins that are. And I mean, these people pop out babies like you wouldn't believe. And it seems like there's weddings, big weddings, beautiful weddings, multiple times a year. And this whole family gets together, and they are blessed. They are blessed people. So yeah, Catholicism is good, and my brother is the best faker of being retarded I've ever seen. Ever. He's the best faker ever. And that is comedy gold, really. And he's a very loving person. I really hope he gets his shit together. I really do. All right. Everyone, have a safe weekend.